They spent my $8,500 surgery money on a cruise, so I exposed what they did to Grandma, too. I came home for Christmas thinking I'd finally use my $8,500 loan for dental surgery. When I opened the door, the house was silent. No music, no voices, no smell of food. Grandma was the only one there, sitting at the table with a plate of cold leftovers. The tree blinked under a cheap star, like it didn't know the party was canceled. I asked, "Where is everyone?" Grandma didn't speak. She slid a note toward me with shaky hands. I read it twice. "Spent your $8,500 loan on a family cruise. Take care of Grandma while we're gone." My chest went tight. I'd worked night shifts for a year, drove Uber on weekends, and skipped meals to save for that surgery. Grandma whispered, "They left yesterday. No goodbye." I looked at her and felt something crack inside me. On Christmas, they stole my money and dumped her here like a problem. Grandma squeezed my hand and said, "We'll fix this." That night, I was in the garage, pulling open Dad's old filing cabinet, looking for bank papers and passwords. Grandma came in and sat beside me. She pulled out a faded notebook and said, "Your mother took my pension logins in 2016. I stared at her. "You knew?" She nodded slowly. I thought I was forgetting things. I wasn't. She's been taking from me for years. Suddenly, the cruise wasn't even the worst part. We spent the next 3 days building a case. The bank kept asking Grandma, "Are you safe? Is someone forcing you?" And she kept whispering, "No, my grandson is here." She kept apologizing like this was her fault. And I kept telling her, "It's not." We spread papers across the kitchen table until there was barely room for her plate. Mom even texted from the ship, "Make sure Grandma eats," like she was some hero, while she was spending my money. Grandma called her bank, reset her passwords, and got full statements. I made a spreadsheet with dates and amounts. ATM withdrawals near Dad's gas stations. Venmo emergencies to my sister Emily. Zelle car repairs to my brother Jacob. The same week he bought new golf clubs. Every line was another punch. We saved screenshots too. Mom emailing Emily about the cruise deposit. "He won't notice. He trusts us." Emily replying, "He's a softie. Who leaves Grandma alone anyway?" Then we got one more thing that made my hands shake. Jacob's wife, Kelly, showed up crying and said she was done covering for them. I asked her to say it again while my phone recorded. "He told me if you didn't give the money, they'd leave her and deal with it later," she said. "I'm tired of lying for you." On the third day, the front door opened and they came back like nothing happened. Emily dragged in her suitcase and said, "Ugh, finally home." Mom walked in with sunglasses on and snapped, "Did you clean up?" Dad looked at Grandma and grunted, "You're still here?" Jacob dropped on the couch and didn't even say hi. I was already sitting at the table with my laptop open. "Sit down," I said. Mom laughed like I was being dramatic. "What's this?" I turned the screen toward them. "It's what you did," I said, and I started with the spreadsheet. Row after row of Grandma's money, plus my $8,500. Mom's face went stiff. "Where did you get that?" "Her bank," I said. Then I showed the email screenshots. Emily's eyes went wide. "That's not—" "Don't," I said. I hit play on the recording and turned the volume up. Kelly's voice filled the room, shaking, telling the truth. Jacob jumped up. "That's illegal," he barked. Dad pointed at me, furious. "You little snake." I didn't move an inch. I opened the last tab and showed them a drafted report addressed to the county ombudsman, a fraud hotline, and 2 local news inboxes. Attachments, statements, screenshots, the audio file, and my spreadsheet. "You have 48 hours," I said. "Return every penny. My $8,500 and every dollar you took from Grandma." Emily started crying. "You'd ruin the family." I said, "You ruined yourselves." Mom tried the soft voice. "Honey, we can talk." Grandma stood up then, slow but steady. "I raised you," she said. "I fed you. I protected you. And you left me alone on Christmas after stealing my money." The room went quiet. Dad muttered, "He won't do it," like he still controlled me. I looked him in the eye, put my finger on the trackpad, and said, "Watch me." Then I hit send. Mom's face went pale. Emily's hands started shaking. Dad's anger turned into panic. Jacob stopped talking. Grandma sat back down, and I sat beside her, staring at the blinking tree. Before the night was over, their calls started coming in. By morning, transfers hit Grandma's account, matching our totals. I booked my surgery, bought Grandma the lift chair she needed, and moved the rest into a new account that only Grandma and I could touch. She looked at the balance, then at me, and her eyes filled.